this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
My name is Josh Chomik.
And back once more, the man himself,
Jimmy Parks.
How you guys doing this week?
Woo! Episode 16.
16, man. This is an episode for the books. We've been going at this thing very, very consistently for some time now. And it feels
We regret to inform this will be our last episode ever.
It's not easy for us to come out with this news, but yeah, this will be the last episode of the podcast. Thank you for those that have listened.
Kidding.
It's just a joke.
Kidding.
No, but we do have some news this week that's kind of interesting.
Josh, you want to break it to him?
Yeah, this is a classic sales technique where you give fake bad news, and then the real bad news doesn't sound as bad as it would because we kind of oversold the podcast being canceled, right?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying there? You get where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So next week is my 1 year anniversary with my wife.
Congratulations.
Ooh.
So,
You made it.
being the man I am, I booked us a little, anniversary trip.
That's
No.
very romantic.
So we're going to be heading out to Wyoming, going to be seeing Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, Jackson Hole, the whole nine, We've been wanting to do this trip for a while. So next week, we will not have a podcast.
Me and Jimmy try to pitch to Josh that we could take it on ourselves, but he said no.
I think you guys should do it, though. That would be really good.
Just leave us the keys to your apartment.
we need the keys.
I could leave a key under the mat. I mean, just as long as the listeners didn't hear that.
We have to get a substitute gaffer to replace Jimmy.
There's so many options.
Well, we did have Danny Dimes stand in 1 week for Jimmy. I think episode 4 or 5.
I've never actually sat with Jimmy on camera to talk before. We've always done skits. I don't know even how that would go.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys, listen, I'm going to leave it open to you. I just won't tell my wife, but if you guys do want to record next week, I'll leave you a key and you guys can do it yourselves.
We'll leave the place cleaner than we left it. Than you left it.
Completely up to you. And if you guys want to sleep over, I mean, nobody's sleeping here, so feel free. We may have some snacks in the pantry.
No
as
guarantees, but this is our 16th week in a row, which is pretty epic, and our official 23rd week, I believe, in a row shooting videos, because we used to shoot short-length videos before we started the podcast fully, so we've been going since end of November, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think it was right before December 1st we started, and we have not stopped filming once a week. This takes up 1 weeknight, and it's not if you're listening to a podcast right now, but if you see our videos and if you don't follow us on Instagram, go follow us on Instagram. You get to see behind-the-scenes photos. We set up a lot of lights. We run a lot of XLR cables all over my living room.
We're pretty official.
This is my kitchen table, and I take everything off of it, and we carry it into the living room. My wife hates that. And we just get this whole setup in here. So it's a big deal to do once a week.
It's a big production, but it's all for you guys. It's all for Jersey.
It's all for the
At
J.
the end of the day, yeah, it's all for the J.
And I can't wait for the day I could build us a studio because I have vision. I know exactly what it would look like.
We just need some space.
We need a space. We need someone to come to us and go, hey, I have this room you could use. I'm not going to charge you rent. Just give me a shout out in the podcast. And we'll be like, yeah, you know what? We could do that.
Easy. We'll throw you a few bucks.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a garage.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that the housing market tanks and I buy a house and we could build a little studio in my garage. That's the hope.
I love it.
And we just need a neon sign with our logo behind us. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I want to talk to a neon shop actually and see if we could get one made. I was going to reach out to a few and see if we could collab, but first we got to get the studio. I don't want to have a neon sign sitting around if it doesn't have a place to hang. It'll break probably.
It'll be like the scene in The Office where Michael hangs up the neon sign in his dining room when they're having food.
Yes.
And it's just so overly
Yes,
bright.
that would be me with the plasma screen
I
TV.
can see you hanging that up whenever you guys have guests over to just show off the pod. Shelby just hates it.
If I could make the neon sign in my vision come to life, it will be very, very beautiful. Picture green, beautiful script, Garden State. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
TGS.
But, boys, before we get into the news, how was your week?
James,
I had a great weekend, to be honest with you guys.
what did you do?
I went to go see my friend's band in Pennsylvania and then Long Island Friday and Saturday.
What band?
Patent Pending.
Ooh, shout out to them.
Then on Sunday, I played tennis, got dinner. I had a great weekend.
Nice.
Sounds like you lived the life of luxury. And so the band was Patent Pending. For some reason, I thought you were going to say Arizona.
No, it was Patent Pending.
Okay. So how was the show?
It was so good. I have been seeing Patent Pending for the past probably 12 years now.
Gee.
We've went on tour together. They toured with Simple Plan a few years back. I went on that as photographer.
Nice.
And I've done a bunch of work for them.
Jimmy's done it all.
So I had such a good time.
What's that one Simple Plan song that was the soundtrack to all of our middle school experience?
I'm Just a Kid?
Yes.
Don't they have a song called The Garden State too?
No, that was another.
That's Census Fail.
That's Census Fail. Another.
Wrong band.
But
It was the S.
there was something about those movies back in like 2005. It was like low budget family movies like Cheaper by the Dozen. I feel like Cheaper by the Dozen had that song in it, didn't it?
I think like every movie had that song in it.
What's that
time frame?
What's the song actually called?
I'm Just a Kid.
I'm Just a Kid.
And life is a nightmare.
Shout out to Cheaper by the Dozen.
I wonder if I
Great
could find
movie.
credits. Sing movies. Oh, it was Cheaper by the Dozen. See, that's how iconic that song was. I remember that scene from Cheaper by the Dozen
Yep.
so clearly in my mind. Great song. But hey, Cho, what'd you do this weekend?
I played golf,
Wait, really?
Yeah. Every weekend.
What course did you play?
I just played Raritan Landing. It's an 18-hole course, but it's like par 55 or something. So a lot of par threes, a lot of good practice. Great time with the boys, great vibes, immaculate vibes all around.
That's great.
Played some Pokemon Go, rested, saw my family. Didn't really do much else. It was a relaxing weekend.
What I want to know.
I didn't see you.
What I want to know is what is your budget for golf a month?
That's what I want to know.
Like $400?
No, bro. I'm not playing fancy courses. Like Raritan Landing for a round of 18 was only like $30 walking.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Raritan Landing if you live nearby.
I would love, I just want to play more golf. I would love to make a segment on the Garden State where we kind of like show off golf courses or like talk to other fellow golfers.
Well, here's what I'd say. Here's what I'll say
That'd be
on
so
the
cool.
podcast officially. If you own a golf course or if like your uncle owns one and you want to send him our videos and he wants to invite us out to play on his course, we will gladly promote a golf course. Yeah.
There's an account following us on Instagram called the Turnpike Tour, I believe. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them. Amazing, beautiful content. But if you would whoever runs that account, if you ever want to play a round of golf and you're listening to this, I'd be so down to go wherever you want. And we can make a little collabo out of it. So
here's what we should do. We should have our listeners go follow the Turnpike Tour and comment. If you do go follow them, what's the Instagram? Is it the Turnpike Tour?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the bio of this episode.
Just comment on their stuff the Garden State Podcast sent us, and maybe we'll connect with those guys or that guy, whoever it is.
But like he goes like more places than the Turnpike. Like the dude's traveling across the country. But yeah, it's a Turnpike Tour. But really good content. I just want to collab with other golfers and golf content. That's like the dream, man. Like I would love to just do stuff like that. So if anyone's got any intel or connects with anyone who's making golf content on the web these days, let me know because that'd be awesome.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah.
A good weekend all around, huh?
Well, I didn't see you, so where the heck were you?
So, my wife went...
Josh runs away from me during the weekends. He's like, no, I've had enough of Chomik.
My wife went away with my sisters for a little... My sister's getting married, so they had a little girls' trip. And, when the cat's away, what do they say? You guys don't know that saying? You guys don't know that saying when the cat's away? The mice play? You ever heard of that?
No.
But I thought you would be the cat.
Maybe in that situation I am. No, I didn't do anything fun. Actually, kind of fun. On Saturday, I went out to Pittstown, New Jersey.
Pittstown.
There was I helped out. I volunteered at this camp out. There's like a father-son camp out, and I go to help out, and it was awesome. Pittstown, New Jersey is gorgy. I was looking at these houses. Like I would easily buy a couple acres out here and move out. And then
It's pretty far out Route 80, right?
no, it's right out 78, like right past Clinton.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
right past
yeah.
the rifle range. You're going like, you know where that is?
Oh, it's right by Round Valley, yeah.
Yeah, like you're going like I think it was maybe one exit past that or right around that area.
Near the station diner.
Near that excellent diner we went to. And there's this awesome campground. It was beautiful. And yeah, it was a fun Saturday. Sunday was a busy day. Hung out with some friends and family, and then just kind of chilled. So it was a good weekend all around. Very New Jersey weekend,
Maybe like one day us three could like hang out on the weekend. Like,
That hasn't
just
happened
together
in
once.
years.
Okay,
It's been a
so-
while.
A Saturday hang.
I swear we're friends. I swear we're friends. We're just like always busy.
We got to go for a nice hike.
Yes,
Before it gets
it's been
too hot.
It's been a while. Yeah.
There's some stuff in upstate New York I really want to do. So
Hey.
We don't leave. Actually, okay, here's one thing I will say. I want to leave the Garden State with you guys to go to that diner we talked about. I'm not going to say the name of it. For the only exterior, meaning outside of NJ review of a diner, I want to go to this spot with you guys. It's my favorite diner. I'm just going to say
I think it's allowed because it's like within driving distance, and people in North Jersey are not even far from it. So
That's a really good point.
And people have also told us to go to PA for some diner reviews, New York for other ones. So I think it's allowed.
I think there'd be a lot of hype around it too if we went, because we'd be like, this is our first time leaving Jersey. And yeah. So I say we get into
first time ever leaving Jersey.
We've never left. Now, Josh is going to Wyoming next week, so...
Yeah, I'm going to Wyoming, so I'm going to...
Must be nice.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to shake this dusty state off my back, and I'm going to go have some fun,
So, yeah, like we said earlier, to conclude this segment, Josh will be away next week, so we'll probably take the week off. Just 1 week, though, but then we'll be back the following. So don't get afraid. Don't be scared.
Don't cheat on us with another podcast.
Yes, we're not leaving forever. We're just going on a little vacay, and then we'll be back. So
yep, that's exactly how it works. And we're gonna miss you guys. I'll be on my 1 year anniversary trip, thinking of all of you instead of my wife.
And if you want to, see what Josh, if you want to see what Josh is up to, go follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, if you guys
Josh
wanna,
Sobo.
Yeah, if you want to follow me and just see what my life is about, you can follow me at Josh Sobo, JoshSobo on Instagram.
If you could post a lot, that'd be great.
I'll post a ton. Yeah,
please,
absolutely. You guys
Memories,
got it.
You need it.
So yeah, that's why this episode's gonna be packed. We got lots of stories. Let's get into it. Let's cover Jersey. So much is going on this week, guys, and we're so stoked to share it with you all. So Josh, how about you just take it away right now with our first story of the day?
You just made me kind of nervous with that super long intro.
Why?
It was just like you were building it up, like I was going to come out with
I'm waiting.
A meteorite is heading to New Jersey.
I want just a thunder punch right now into the gut with our first story of the day.
Okay.
Give me something so juicy, a nice juicy piece of meat that just want to take on. I had a barbecue on Saturday.
Oh God. All right, let's get into the news.
What just happened? What just happened?
I'm hyping you up. I'm your hype man. I feel like you always hype me
Why
up.
did you say I had a barbecue on Saturday?
Because I was thinking about the juicy steak I had. So what do you think about when you think of something juicy, like a nice rare piece of meat?
Did your dad make?
Yes.
On the wait, you had some asado?
Yeah, I did.
Oh well, that's great.
It was awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
How about you take it away, brother?
let's get into the news.
Give me something good.
All right, boys. I need to breathe for a second.
Take a nice sip of water. Get ready. 16 episodes in a row, man.
Why?
Season 2 starts in 2 weeks, guys. We made it through. Thank you so much. Let me just say thank you so much for everyone who's been listening, following us. If you're not following us yet on social media, it's at The Garden State on Instagram. Also on TikTok, it's The Garden State Podcast. We're on Discord. Join the conversation. It's going to be a great, great time. Follow Jimmy Parks on Instagram, at JTDscape, and all other socials. So we're very excited to be here. Josh, take it away with the first story.
Okay, I'm back.
It's a good night.
Do I look like I was just crying for the camera?
You were a little,
Because I did just cry from whatever just happened in this room. All right, let's move on to the news.
Shall we?
Remote learning is being demanded by the families of students at Colonia High School.
It's just not ending, bro.
Yeah, so to fill people in, again, I feel like this is the 4th podcast we filled people in.
You got to do it.
We covered this story weeks back with a man named Al Lupiano who uncovered the fact that there are over 100 people with a rare brain tumor in Colonia, New Jersey, that he believes are linked to the high school. And now parents are saying, we don't want our kids going to school. We want them to be remote learning.
Yeah, dude. And they've been conducting some radiological testing over the past few weeks. I believe it's finished at this point. We have to look more into it, but I don't think the results were released at the moment.
Yeah.
But parents are concerned, and you can't blame them.
Yeah, so the results are not out yet, though they're expected later this month. But the article says from, I believe this is 101.5, it says, a number of families with children attending Colonia High School are calling for a remote learning option as investigations into a possible brain cancer cluster continue. 20 people from 16 families signed a letter to Mayor John McCormick and Woodbridge Superintendent Joseph Massimino, dated April 30th. It states that the signees are concerned about Colonia High School parents, alumni, and township members. So they're very concerned I would say rightfully so in a way, although Al Lupiano said, a couple weeks of exposure isn't going to give someone a tumor. This is more long-term, over years and years of exposure.
And to be honest, how many kids go to this school? There's thousands, right?
Yeah, I feel like 16 is kind of low.
Yeah, 20. It said 20 people signed it.
Really hasn't gone out very far.
No, 20 people I don't think is going to make a change. Maybe if it was 200 or 300 families signing this, maybe something might happen, but I don't think 20 is enough.
Honestly, after this article came out, I'm sure this has gotten onto local community Facebook pages. I'm sure you're going to get more families signing on.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I don't think the number, we'll see what happens with the number, but the article went on to say, at this time, the Woodbridge Township Board of Health has informed me that there is no substantiated public health concern related to Colonia High School, which is a really dumb statement because the studies from the radon canisters is not out yet. They're saying it's going to come out later this month. So hopefully by Memorial Day, right, we'll have some information. But for them to say that, on what basis are they saying that there's no concern? The studies haven't been finished yet.
Yeah.
So they're basing that off of old information, the information which has always been, and it doesn't really add to the conversation, in my opinion. It's just something to say, right?
And you know what's kind of, I guess, settling for the families, the people who have kids in Colonia High School right now, is all these kids were remote during COVID for a year and a half. So your exposure isn't as for a full 4 years if you went to high school there. Mm-hmm. So that's got to be somewhat nice.
Yeah, I guess so. But we're going to have to wait till later this month to see if there's more information. I think we should reach back out to Al. I know he keeps saying we're going to, but we should talk to him in 2 weeks when we come back for the podcast and just get an update from him and his family to see. He probably knows some things that they're not saying in these articles, and he is really just a genius, the guy. So what do you think about that, Joe?
Did the letters do anything? What did the superintendent say?
Oh, they're going to be continuing with the in-person school. The other thing it did say, let me pull up the article for you. So this guy, Massimino, wrote back to the letter that he does not have the power. The superintendent told New Jersey 101.5 that he responded to the families in a letter on Tuesday. In his response, Massimino wrote that the state created a remote learning option amid COVID-19 pandemic. Then last year, Governor Murphy mandated all public schools to return to in-person classes.
Yeah.
He said, I have made the Department of Education. So it's only during a crisis or active health emergency that they can do this. But that's where it becomes subjective, because these families might feel this is an active health emergency.
But listen, if the man behind this whole entire story, Al Lupiano, says that he's still sending his kids and family members to the school and that it's safe, I'm going to listen to Al Lupiano, because this guy knows more than most people, and I'll follow the guy into a war zone.
I would, after that conversation with Al, if you haven't listened to our Al Lupiano interview and none of what we're saying makes sense, you should really go check it out. After our interview with Al, I would follow him into a war zone as well. That man is a legend in my book.
Local living legend.
We will keep you all updated on the situation in Colonia as the information comes out. As we've been doing these last few weeks, we try to give you updates when we can. It hits close to home, and we want to see nothing but the best for the residents of Colonia, New Jersey. Would you guys agree with that?
And if you go to Colonia High School and you're in the halls, what are the kids talking about? What are they saying about this whole entire thing? Because I just keep reading articles about it and what the adults are saying, but I want to hear what the kids are saying. So leave a comment. Let us know.
Absolutely. That's some good stuff.
Yes, sir.
A New Jersey flight school has had its second plane crash in the past 6 months.
Those are not good numbers.
Not a school I'd want to go to.
No.
Those are not good odds.
Staying far from there. Tell us about it.
So in Berkeley, New Jersey, a small plane that crashed at the Ocean County Airport on Sunday evening is owned by the same flight school that lost a plane in a November crash. The Cessna 172 left Old Bridge Airport in Englishtown and crashed around 6 p.m. according to FAA records and FlightAware.com. It is owned by Old Bridge Flight School, which is based at the airport. So pretty much this flight school is teaching people to fly planes, and it's just not a good look.
I heard that it actually started a small brush fire, too.
Really?
Yeah.
See? That's a problem.
Well, if you look at the photos that are on the article, it looked like the thing went into flames.
Did they survive? That looks bad.
Yeah, so
that looks nasty.
let me pull up the article and read to you. Actually, I have it right
Also,
here.
I want to know, like, was it the plane's fault? Are these extremely old planes that are going down? Or is it the instructor's fault for not teaching the student properly?
So a little bit of both, it sounds like, because it says Berkeley Police Sergeant Taylor Butler told Asbury Park Press that the pilot and the flight instructor were not injured. So we have an instructor and a pilot in the plane. So here's what I said this before on the podcast. These little planes freak me out, these Cessnas, because they always seem to crash.
They're not easy to fly.
I'm sure I don't want to insult the flight school because it sounds like they probably got a good operation going on, but maybe they're not maintaining their planes properly. Who knows what could be going on here?
All it takes probably is like the flick of the wrist, right? Like when you're like flying a plane, I feel like all it takes is one bad move and like I don't know. Like maybe that happened. Or maybe it was a weather problem. There's so many different things at play here.
I don't know. I feel like it's not, I don't know. I've never flown a plane, so everything I'm about to say is totally made up. But I don't think the flick of a wrist could crash a plane. That'd be like saying the flick of a steering wheel, which I guess if you're going really fast, that could crash a car.
And I don't know if it was a weather thing either. We're talking about Sunday here. It was a beautiful day on Sunday.
Yeah. It's a mystery, and I wonder if like it's actually going to get like if it's going to come out in future stories on how it happened or like what's going to go on with this flight school. Because obviously, if you're going to this flight school, you have to be concerned.
Yeah, and it says the same model plane was also involved in a crash in Old Bridge Airport on November 21st. This is the first crash that we referred to. It says during which a 17-year-old student pilot failed to maintain control of the plane upon landing, according to the NTSB's incident report. So that sounds more like, was it a 17-year-old trying to fly a plane? Was it like something with the landing gear went wrong? Who knows? I don't know.
I've flown a commercial plane before in a flight simulator. And
wow,
I've had a few crashes myself. And yeah, they're not easy planes to fly, so I can't imagine doing it in real life.
You are incredible, man. Respect to you for flying commercial planes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In a flight simulator.
Yeah, I've flown over your house. I've flown over my house.
Why?
That Microsoft Flight Simulator is like one of the coolest video games ever.
Okay, I will say I was going to make a lot of jokes just based on how you started that conversation, but that flight simulator is so unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
It's like live rendering of the whole world. You could you could fly over my house, and it's literally my house.
Mm-hmm.
I've flown over my actual house after taking off from Newark Airport, and I have a Snapchat video of my street, and you can see my house. It was the coolest thing that ever happened.
Amazing.
You know what? That's what drives me nuts when I land in Newark. I'm obsessed with doing that. When I'm landing in Newark Airport, I look out the window and try to figure out, where am I? What mall is that?
like a little kid,
what football field is that? What town is that?
I love when you like find stuff. So like when I take off, it's harder when you're landing, but when you take off, you start following like Route 1 and then you see Parkway and 78 and it all makes sense and you get just spatial awareness. It's really
cool.
amazing.
You're right about the landing part because I'm always like, wait, where am I? I'm like, is that Rockaway or am I near the shore? And then it's like, oh, Paramus. Like, how did I get to Paramus? And then like you're going down I was going to say the East River. You're going down the Hudson River.
Yeah, the Hudson River.
On the
But
Jersey
I've
side.
also flown over the Rockaway Mall before coming home.
Have you?
Yeah,
Okay, so maybe I have too.
definitely.
Well, thank goodness nobody was injured. Hopefully this flight school figures out what's going on and insurance covers the accident so they get some new planes because they're down 2 planes. That's got to be a liability.
Not good. Not a good look.
Guys, this next story isn't really a story. It's more of information about the state we live in. You know, we live in a state where there's just so much happening, right?
All the time. Nonstop.
There's stuff happening all around us, right under our own noses even.
This ain't North Dakota.
That's right. Did you know that there are 6 Washington Townships in the state of New Jersey?
I just learned this today. I knew there was a few, but not 6.
Yes, there are 6 Washington. This makes Google Maps probably unbelievably complicated when you're trying to drive to a friend's house that lives in
I would
Washington.
get so lost.
But just to list them off for you, there's Washington Township in Burlington County. There's the Borough of Washington in Warren County. And in the same county, there's Washington Township, Warren County. There's the township...
Unnecessary.
The Township of Washington in Bergen County. Washington Township in Morris County. Washington Township in Gloucester County. And an honorable mention of Robbinsville Township in Mercer County, which was originally Washington Township until 2007.
They got sick of being the seventh one. They're like, we got to get out.
How hard is it to change the name of a town? Like, does all your mail get messed up for like forever?
It's got to be way harder than changing your name, and that's hard.
Well, if you know North Plainfield, if you're familiar with the area, they apparently tried to change the name of North Plainfield like 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, because the affiliation with Plainfield, I guess, had a negative connotation because Plainfield's more city-like.
Yeah.
And North Plainfield's more little suburban streets. And they had a vote on it in the town. And it was shot down, I guess. But I think they wanted to name it something like, I'm trying to remember. Someone told me this, but it was a nice little town name. I don't remember. But they tried to change North Plainfield. And I don't understand why these Washington townships don't do the same. Maybe they're like at like a cold standoff right now where it's like, I don't want to change my name. You change the name.
Yeah, everyone wants to be the last standing one. They're not giving up.
But this isn't like solely a Washington problem either. There's other towns that have the same names too. You have Belmar and you have Belmar.
Well, they're spelled differently.
Okay, but
very different.
Okay,
you
that one drives me nuts because the spelling of Belmar,
yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
it makes me like,
hate
I don't
that
know.
spelling.
I don't know what it is about it. It makes me so angry.
But then you got Franklin Borough, Franklin Township in Gloucester, Franklin Township in Hunterdon, Franklin Township in
Whoa.
Somerset, Franklin Township in
way.
Warren, Franklin Lakes Borough and Bergen.
I didn't know there was
So-
that many Franklin townships.
The issue is the presidents. We got to be honest here for a second. George Washington and Ben Franklin messed it all up for all of us.
Yeah, but everyone's obsessed.
We should name a town after you, Chomik. It could be Chomik Township.
I know, dude.
But I think another problem is, right, for such a small town, small state, we have 564 municipalities.
Yeah.
New Jersey's small.
That's crazy. Jimmy, random question. How hard would it be if I bought a couple acres in some county? Like, let's say I go out to Chester, New Jersey, right? And I buy 5 acres. If I took 4x4 square foot piece of land, could I make my own town? What is the process to make your own town?
I think it's pretty hard.
I know it's got to be extremely difficult.
Because
but
then so you have unincorporated towns too. So you might be able to make an unincorporated town.
Give us an example of an unincorporated town. Can't say that word.
I can't think of one on the top of my head, but it's just like an area within a town that's known as something else.
I think we should make a town. I also have an idea for the state. This would be a great tourist attraction for the state of New Jersey.
I can think of one, Batstow.
Really?
Batstow's an unincorporated town.
What does that mean, though, unincorporated?
I think it doesn't have any local government affiliated
But it's
with
an
it.
actual town.
But it's not really a town.
It's a neighborhood in Washington. Wait, it's in Washington Township,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Look,
what a connect.
Batstow Village is a historic unincorporated community. See? On County Route 542.
Oh, Bastow. I did
Batstow.
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 Man, this state just has so much. This looks like Waterloo Village, actually, a little bit.
It's
where I
very
got married.
similar.
It'd be great if we could start our own town, boys. I think that'd be really fun.
Well, that's what I was getting at, really, with the question was, how high can we fly? No pun intended with that last story we had, but how high can we fly as a podcast? Can we get our own town?
What would we name it?
I think it'd have to be something kind of cheeky, like the Garden State Town. Real creative, right?
Jimmy's laugh always gets me.
I don't know. I think we could do it. I think we should pitch some stuff to the Murph once he comes on the podcast.
Imagine Obama Township. I'm thinking about presidents.
Obama Township or
Trump Village.
Well, Trump already has that golf course, so I guess he's already a step ahead of
Yeah, he is.
Obama. But what about who's another? I don't know. I feel like we are still living in an era of these new presidents where we're not going to see their names on stuff for another 20 years or so.
Maybe until we die. I don't know.
Maybe.
Possibly.
No, I think. Is there a Jimmy Carter, a Carter?
Carteret.
Ronald Reagan has an airport, I think. So that was 40 years ago. So we'll see.
George Bush has an airport. George Bush Sr. down
Houston.
in Texas. Yeah.
that's right. That's a really nice airport.
So
by the
it's
way.
a
is a really
big
nice
airport.
airport.
When you go to an airport like that, you realize, what are we doing in New Jersey? Newark Airport compared to that, I flew through that airport in 2010 for the record, so it's been a long time. But when I was there, it was beautiful and massive.
I feel like this could be a whole nother conversation on our favorite airports.
Let's move on. Okay.
We love airports. We're obsessed.
In North Arlington, New Jersey, cars in a parking garage were mysteriously covered with blood.
A little spooky there.
Yeah, it's very spooky. So the article reads, North Arlington, New Jersey. How did several cars parked in a municipal parking lot get blood splattered on them?
Is this confirmed that's real blood, or is it like stage blood? Like,
No, it's real blood.
Well, the article doesn't actually say, but it looks like it could be
It
real blood.
looks like blood, and also like why are you spreading fake blood everywhere? As a prank?
yeah,
Senior prank?
yeah.
So
I don't know.
it says that's the mystery that faced Bergen County law enforcement after the blood was found Thursday at North Arlington Municipal Garage on Ridge Road. The origin appears to be a pool of blood on the sidewalk in front of the garage. It's all very mysterious. There's a pool of blood. There's blood on cars. I don't know, but it says, but there's no surveillance in the garage and no reports of any humans or animals being struck in the immediate area of the garage.
That's the giveaway. The person who did this picked a garage with no surveillance cams. They knew that they weren't going to be seen, and that was the scene of the crime.
They're
going to find a dead body like 6 months from now, and they're going to be like, oh, it was connected.
I honestly, you know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like someone didn't get a permit for like their garage, and they picked up some like pig's blood. Can you buy like pig's blood?
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Like on Amazon. And they went and like dumped it on people's cars because people are nuts. This is the reality of life. You got a lot of crazy people in our world. I'm just speculating. This is not what actually happened, but that's what I'm assuming. Something like that. They went and dumped it on the guy's car that wouldn't give them a permit for their new patio, and they're upset.
It could have been a good old Machine Gun Kelly, Megan Fox situation.
Whoa.
Did you see that article? She was like, she came out saying how they drink each other's blood.
Yeah, they're out of their minds.
There's the whole vampire community got mad too about it. They said you have to wait 6 months before drinking the blood of your partner.
That is so. That is the most 2022 thing I've ever heard. That the vampire community is offended.
Yeah, you can't offend anyone, dude.
Dude, that is so
Machine Gun
2022.
Kelly.
They're like, hold on a second. We need vampire representation in this conversation.
You know, it could have been a whole blood ceremony in this garage. You know, blood brother ceremonies. You never know, dude. Some guys could have just gone nuts. There's so many things that could have happened here, and it's very suspicious how no one knows a thing about it. So whoever's behind it, they know what they're doing. They've been around the block.
Criminal masterminds for sure. And it's hard to say what actually went on here. If you know any information about this, send us a message. Let us know. Or if your car was one of the blood splattered ones,
Yeah.
let us know.
We're here to help. We'll get there. We'll get on the scene immediately and figure something out.
Okay, here's the real question. How do they know it was blood and not like, say, I don't know, ketchup?
Because they actually did a test, I believe.
Here's they have a video.
She did it.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, say it.
We gotta talk about the lady in this interview. That response was very suspicious. Maybe she's the one that dumped the blood. Is that possible?
Yeah, so if you're listening to this right now, we just watched some of the interview videos that came out with this article, and some of these people who have the blood splattered on their cars, they look pretty suspicious. Go watch the video. It's on nj101.5.com. It's pretty hilarious, actually.
Yeah, she seemed like she was a little nervous, and she said she's heading to the car wash right now, which, can you imagine you working at a car wash, like you hate your job, and this car covered in human blood potentially comes in?
It's not bad.
Weird.
It's Jersey, bro. There's people they're finding teeth in grills of cars. Now there's blood all over a car. It's New Jersey, bro. It's just another day.
Just another day in the J. So,
Another day in the J.
Moving on.
Great story. Let us know if you find out any more intel.
So in South Brunswick, New Jersey, tens of thousands of dollars were stolen from an ATM machine.
Impressive.
I always wondered how hard it would be. I mean, not that I'm a thief.
Everyone thinks about it.
But everybody wonders
Yeah.
at some point, like, how hard would it be to steal an ATM machine? Because it's like a very movie-like thing to happen, right? Mm-hmm. And we all wonder,
They're
like,
super heavy.
yeah.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. The security guard for my building that I work in was watching a video last week about how to break into an ATM
Why?
machine. I don't know.
Was it them?
Who knows?
You might,
Whoa,
Jimmy, you might need to go to the PD.
I have no idea. I don't work anywhere near South Brunswick, though.
This story is impressive, though, how the guys did it. And they haven't been caught.
Yeah, it's really crazy because I never thought you could actually steal an ATM machine. But
possible.
here's what the article says. It says police are trying to figure out who pulled a concrete-mounted ATM outside a Route 1 bank early Wednesday morning. The thieves stole a large amount of cash and left some behind as well. Police Lieutenant Gene Rickel told New Jersey 1015 that a stolen van pulled up to the drive-thru ATM at the Chase Bank in the Target Shopping Center around 3:30 a.m. They yanked the ATM from the base and dragged it across the parking lot. The ATM was found cracked open and tens of thousands in cash were missing. The police responded in 3 minutes. Video showed the thieves were done in 90 seconds and took off in a second vehicle, according to Rickel.
Just missed them.
3 minutes.
That's great response time, but these criminals are also quick. They did that so fast.
A 90-second theft. Think about how challenging it must be to pull an ATM machine, which probably weighs a ton.
Yeah, what kind of truck did they have?
And it was set in concrete. I don't know how they did this.
It had to have been like a big truck to pull that kind of weight.
It had to be calculated too, because the 3:30 a.m. thing, I feel like these people have to know what they're doing. They're probably professionals. Maybe they're from out of state. And
Even though the article, the cops said it was a sloppy job.
really?
Yeah, because they left behind cash. So there's a few other things, but they said it was a sloppy job.
It's to me.
I'm impressed.
They got away with it. It can't be that sloppy of a
Yeah.
job.
I feel like if you're
mean,
doing anything that quick, it's got to be sloppy.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you're not taking their time there.
It has to be well coordinated beforehand.
I don't like that they said it was tens of thousands in cash. I wish they were more specific, because that could be like 20 grand or it could be like 90 grand, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you got like 20s and $50 bills in there, right? They don't have hundreds in the ATMs, do they?
I don't think they.
I have no idea.
I mean, unless they could access the deposited money.
True.
But here's the other thing: say you get an ATM off of the thing, how do you open it within 90 seconds? And
Yeah, they
leave?
opened it too. That's wild.
Like, how do you open? And if you look at the photos in the article,
Does it look blown open?
dude, it looks demolished. Like it looks like they really, really opened it quickly. They have to be familiar with these machines, and my guess would be
Wow.
that they are on a spree of doing this to chase machines. Because there's the van. Look at this with the chain. Oh,
Wow.
If you're
Oh, wow.
listening,
It's a white van. Cool.
if you're listening to this, search 1,000 stolen in 90 seconds. Thieves hit ATM in South Brunswick, New Jersey. It's an NJ1015 article. You'll see this picture of a white Ford, like a classic Ford white van. It has a chain off the back of it. I didn't even know a van could do that.
No, I expected something way stronger than that.
Wait, so the van was stolen?
Well, they left. They pulled the ATM with the van, and then they had a getaway vehicle that they jumped into with the cash. So they got away fast.
Yeah.
So it had to be stolen.
Yeah, it was all stolen. And I gotta be honest, like, I think theft is wrong. You should never steal. But there's something weirdly romantic about these, like, because we watch so many movies. It's like these guys are like cat burglars. They stole from an ATM machine with a van, had a second van. Like, that's straight out of of an Ocean's movie. I feel like
So what you're saying is you and Shelby, when you're in Wyoming, you're going to start stealing some stuff? Bonnie and Clyde over here?
Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah. No, I mean, these guys. I hope they catch them, and I hope they go to jail for a long time. Because at the end of the day, whose money is in the ATM? I'm assuming
Ours.
it's ours. Yeah. I mean,
It's my bank.
But the banks have a lot of money. That's not going to be any skin off Chase's back. I'm sure that they lost $20,000.
That's nothing to them.
So we will see what happens there. I doubt they find the guys, but you never know.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
South Brunswick PD is a sharp bunch of guys and gals, and they're probably going to crack the case.
Next time, you just got to be quicker than 3 minutes if you want to catch them.
3 minutes response time. It's so impressive.
That is fast.
Well, in Passaic, New Jersey, a local lake has turned from blue into milky white.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, this is a weird story.
Cream of wheat soup.
Yeah, the lake, this lake, if you look it up, it looks like milk. It looks like the lake turned into
Like a lake of cereal.
it's super strange. They should have thrown some Fruit Loops in it. And just-
Oh, that would be a cool photo shoot, Jimmy. We went there, just threw some Fruit Loops in there.
and a big spoon.
That's gross.
It says local officials want answers after the blue waters of Hughes Lake turned milky white from an unknown substance. Mayor Hector Laura found out about the pollutant from a resident walking through 3rd Ward Memorial Park early Wednesday afternoon. The brook feeding the Hughes Lake was clearly the wrong color. So, yeah, pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Or not clear at all.
Oh, no. Jimmy, leave the jokes up to us,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, please. Just don't ever say that again.
The best part of
selfie of the mayor.
The best part of the story is on the article, the mayor took a selfie, and he just looks like a regular guy.
That was right after the lake was cleaned.
It was cleaned up.
Yeah,
I guess
looks
he was
normal
probably
there.
putting it on Facebook or something. But Laura confirmed to New Jersey 101.5 that the State Department of Environmental Protection tested the waters Thursday morning. He said the test revealed that the substance is not hazardous and does not pose an immediate risk to residents or wildlife.
But what's the substance?
I don't know.
That did not
It
find
doesn't
out?
say. It says firefighters flushed the brook later Wednesday. Hughes Lake will take 4 or 5 days to completely return to its normal blue color, according to Laura.
Boring. Like, what was the point of that? Like, who did that? Or, like, does that naturally happen, you think?
That's not natural.
Well, you know how they dye the river in Chicago green for St. Patty's Day?
Yeah.
Same thing.
This could be a similar thing. It could be some pranksters that just wanted to see what would happen. You can buy big tubs of like color dye if you have a pond in your yard and you want it to look nice and blue. We should do that to a local lake.
I feel like that's not a good idea.
If you lived, like if you were like there's a senior prank when you're in high school.
Yeah.
If you went online and bought like purple dye and you dyed the town lake purple, that would be pretty legendary. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it would be pretty cool if it happened. It's non-toxic. I mean, it's not going to kill the fish or anything. It's just going to look different.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it'd be funny.
Reminds me
I
of
just don't want to get in trouble for it. I wouldn't
in
do
high
it.
school,
yeah, I get
we
what you're saying.
were filming a YouTube video at the local park, and we had a gallon of milk with us. So like after we filmed, we dumped the gallon of milk into the river, and it kind of gave us that same look, like the milkiness.
Well,
It's just like you need to multiply that gallon by like 100 more.
have you done any studies on the fish in that pond? I feel like their bones have to be extremely dense.
Probably, bro. I've had a few good catches in that lake in my time.
So we'll have to see what happens next, but it sounds like all is back to normal in Passaic. They turned the water blue again, and it's amazing we live in a time where you could change the color of a lake.
Wait, did they change it back blue, or they just flushed it and the water just came back?
No, they flushed it, and they said it's going to become blue again. But
Boring.
I think they should have just dyed it back. Imagine. That would have been really funny if they just like took blue dye and made it blue again.
We should have done, they should have taken advantage of it, do something cool. Like
You
that.
know how there's turquoise lakes like at quarries and stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that, Jimmy?
I think it has something to do with the minerals. And just,
Yeah.
especially like down South Jersey, right? The water's coming up through basically a big filter.
Oh, so what I was going to say is, why don't we just dye our lakes that color? Like, why, if it's non-toxic,
It's muddy waters.
Because what's the point?
It wouldn't even stay that
That's
color.
not natural.
who wants natural in this world? None of us want natural.
But thinking about it, even if you did dye it, it wouldn't even stay that color because number one, most waterways are moving.
Very good, Chomik.
And
I'm glad somebody around
second
here.
off,
Oh, my.
most of the grounds are muddy, brown, dirty, and that's going to reflect the color of the water.
Do you guys not understand-
End of my case.
We're also talking about the guy who swam in the Rahway River right now.
Who?
You. And you're saying, most of these things are muddy and dirty.
Yeah, it's just
hold
mud. Mud's not going to kill you, dude.
When did you two become absolute nerds? If you're talking about a pond, we're not, it's not like the Mississippi River's running through it. Yeah, maybe there's a little runoff. So every once a week, you go down with a tub of the blue dye, you throw some more in. What's the big deal?
Dude.
You ever see the Rahway River?
No,
listen,
it's
listen.
talking about the base of it, though. It's mud.
We pay
That's
enough.
what makes the color.
We pay enough in taxes for our ponds to be turquoise. That's all I want, a turquoise pond.
Let's write a letter to the mayor. Let's do something. Let's make it happen so all your dreams can come true, Joshua.
Absolutely. So who knows what happened with the Milky water? Who knows what kind of a chemical turns water milky white?
I just wish they put Fruit Loops in it. That's all I'm going to say. with this
Next
story.
week's story, local mayor arrested for contaminating local lake.
I can't wait.
The residents voted on it.
So I would vote on that. Moving on to the next story. 1,000-pound great white shark named Ironbound has reached the Jersey Shore in its annual migration.
That's pretty epic. How do they name sharks now? Like,
Well-
do they know this shark? He comes through often.
Yeah, he goes by Newark.
When they tag the shark, they give it a name. And there's this app I have that's amazing. It's like a shark tracker app, and you can look up where every shark that's been tagged, you can see where it is.
No, you
Yes.
seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're at the Jersey Shore, you can look, and sometimes they're not far off land. Great white sharks.
How many sharks are tagged in the state of New Jersey?
Well,
They
they're-
go around the whole world.
But if you look at the waterways, like at any given time, there might be, to answer your question, Josh, off the coast of New Jersey in the summertime, usually there's like 3 or 4 big ones.
But okay, so there's 3 or 4 big tagged sharks, but how many are not tagged that are in the waters, you think?
Probably a lot, but the ones they tag, I think, are some of the bigger ones, the more mature ones. And if you click on them, it's really interesting. I think
What's this app called?
I think it's called Shark Tracker. And if you click on, because it shows you a map with little like a dot, almost like you're on Google Maps, like
Yeah.
a pin, and you can click on the pin and it shows you a photo of the shark when they tagged it. It gives you its weight, if it's male or female, its age. It's really, really interesting.
So cute.
It's cute until you're like laying in Cape May on the beach and you pull open the app and you realize that 25 miles off the shore, there's a 1,500-pound great white shark
Named Ironbound.
that
Coming
can
right
probably
for you.
swim at like 40 miles an hour. I don't know. How fast can they swim, Jimmy? I feel like you'd know that.
Pretty fast.
Why are we tagging the sharks?
Just we could track their health and see how they're doing, study them.
I had no idea that there was number one, a tracker app that you could follow these sharks, but also that we're tagging these sharks. It's
They
crazy.
can swim 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, good luck getting out of the way of that.
So it looks like the app was rebranded, like maybe it was bought, because this is the one I used to use. It's OCE, like almost spelling ocean. It's a mixture of ocean and search. O-Search Shark Tracker, which is really an inconvenient spelling, but it just shows you a map. It's so cool. to
And you
see.
can follow them year round.
Yeah, and you can actually, when you click on the shark, it shows you their pattern of travel. Like you can, it'll show you a line of where they've gone over the last few months. It's
That's
really
crazy.
Cool. Yeah,
What? And can you follow them throughout the whole world?
yeah, absolutely.
Can we see if Ironbound has been in the waters of Australia?
Definitely, and I'll open the app right now, and we'll find out where Ironbound has been.
You can actually see where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you open the app, it'll tell you, it'll give you the last updated time on him.
That's so crazy. I had no idea we were doing this with sharks.
Do sharks scare you? If you go to the beach in the summertime, are you someone that's concerned about getting your leg ripped off by jaws? Or are you like, I don't care, the ocean doesn't bother me? What about you, Cho?
I'm all right with it. I'm aware that there's sharks in the waters near me, but I usually just make sure I'm not bleeding going into the water. But that's about it.
Yeah, so here's Ironbound. So the last time they tagged him, he was 1,100 pounds. Now he's oh no, that says, I'm sorry, he still is the same weight. They can't change the weight through the tracker. But he's traveled 13,000 miles. Look at this guy.
13,000?
Yeah, he's traveled 13,000 miles.
How old is he?
He's an adult. He's 12 feet long.
Wow.
He's an adult.
So his name's Ironbound. He's named after the West Ironbound Island near Lunenburg, Nova Scotia.
Oh,
my
so
God.
not Newark. Thought he was
is
a local.
53. I don't know if that's right, though. 53, that doesn't sound correct. He's 53 white shark spot tagged. That's not even that's a run-on sentence. So yeah, you can track him, which is super cool. And if we look at his
What's his
track,
furthest away he's been?
he goes all the way up to Nova Scotia pretty often for, I guess, for holiday.
Summer's up there.
And then he goes down to he's gone to the Florida Keys. Like Key West he's right off the coast of Key West a lot.
Impressive.
So this app is, I don't know how much promo we're going to do for this app on this podcast, but it's really, really cool.
I'm about to get on this.
Look at this.
So Ironbound doesn't go down to South America?
No, dude, he stays East Coast.
So
Wow,
all day.
what a bro.
it's Nova Scotia all the way to Key West. Like he's not far from Havana when he's in Key West because Key West is not far from
This
Havana.
might be my favorite story we've ever talked about.
It's really
this
cool.
is so bizarre to me.
If you want to download it and maybe make a donation because I think it's a free app.
So wait,
But-
what was the story about that we were reporting on? He's passing through town?
The story
Passing
was
through.
he's only a couple hundred miles off the coast right now, just hanging in the North Atlantic Ocean. And
That's so cool.
Should we be concerned about this? He was 90 miles east of New Jersey. I'm not concerned about it. I say more power to Ironbound. He sounds like a cool guy.
I want to give a shout out to Ironbound for being 53 years old and never being caught. Or maybe he has been caught and then, the fishermen released him back and didn't eat him.
I heard something interesting recently. And by the way, the shark names are so cool if you click on them on the app.
So the people who tag them name them?
Yeah,
What job is that? I want that.
The scientists who capture them. So I heard recently that the ocean is really only a scary place like 100 miles off the coast of any piece of land. Because, did I tell you guys this?
No.
So the idea is, I don't know if this is correct, I'm not a marine biologist like George Costanza, but the idea is that off the coast of, let's say, New Jersey, for the first 100 miles or so, the depth of the water is not deep enough that sunlight can't reach the bottom. So once you reach a certain point in the ocean, sunlight can no longer reach the bottom of the ocean, which means there can no longer be growth on the bottom of the ocean, like plant life, which means bottom feeders are no longer down there. And, it's like a whole chain. It's the ecosystem. They need the plant life at the bottom because that helps support life. So really, ocean life, and if you look at the app, it's interesting. You only see sharks off really close to the coast of the east coast of the United States for the area I looked at. And it's because, I guess, they don't want to go in the middle of the ocean. There's not a whole lot going on out there.
That's pretty crazy.
What's the drop off? Because like in the ocean, when you're looking at the map and it just gets dark, isn't there like a drop off? Isn't there a name for that?
Yeah,
where it just
something
gets
trench
super
or
deep.
something.
Yeah, Mariana's Trench.
Yeah.
No, that's you're thinking of, that's the deepest point of the world, the Mariana Trench.
Okay,
But if you look at this map, I know our podcast listeners can't see it. There's a clear line.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's probably 100 miles off the coast of the whole East Coast. And it's a ridge, and then everything drops off. And you'll notice not many sharks go beyond that ridge.
But isn't there like some really scary stuff that lives way deep in the ocean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, there's life down there, but
like
those are just wild.
Those fish that have like the little light in front of them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Finding Nemo fish. Yeah. Well, we don't really know, and I don't really want to find out.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah,
So-
that stuff freaks me out.
If you see Ironbound this summer, if you live to tell the tale, call into the podcast.
Yeah, I would love to see Ironbound meet him. Maybe swim with him.
So this next story we have is very heartwarming, I have to say.
Are we ending it off on a good note?
Well, there is one other story that's pretty dark, and it just felt weird when I was about to read it after the lighthearted stories we've had. Maybe we'll save it for the end.
We'll see what we
But
feel.
This is a really uplifting story. In Toms River, New Jersey, a park is opening for children with disabilities. Its name, the Field of Dreams.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it says Toms River's Field of Dreams, New Jersey's first recreational facility designed for children with disabilities, opened Saturday.
Woo.
So it sounds like kids that have obviously some severe, this one example they give is a child with severe brain trauma from a car accident. He's going to get to have a park to play at. That's really awesome.
That's really cool. Good for them.
So if you know somebody that this might be great for, you can check out the Field of Dreams in Toms River, New Jersey. And that is an uplifting little tidbit.
That's really cool.
It looks really, really cool if you look up the Field of Dreams.
There's a whole video on it online if you search it, so you can see what the park looks like and what they got in there. Because the article really doesn't say too much on like every single amenity there, but very colorful, very playful. Looks like a great time.
You know what I love about parks nowadays that we didn't have as kids? Everything's made out of rubber. Like the floor is rubber. You guys know what I mean?
Well, I used to get like splinters and stuff.
We used to have
The
wood
mulch,
chips.
yeah, the mulch sucked.
Who was the guy that was like, we got a park, let's just throw some mulch down for the kids?
Who was the guy who decided to make slides that like silver metal? Like, and then
That
you go down on the
burned.
hottest day of the summer.
That burned your legs if you were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Or even almost as bad is the plastic tube slides that were saunas if you go inside them. You remember like being a little kid, you climb up the slide, the tube slide, you play inside of it, and
Well,
it's
they
like
still got those, right?
scorching hot in there.
Remember we used to be climbing up the slide and then it could be sliding down it?
Yeah. All the time. All the time.
I miss the park, man. I miss being a little kid. They should make, after making this park, they should make a park for adults. Like everything is twice the size.
You know, there kind of is one. I guess it really isn't, but I have been on it before in Hoboken. It's out on this like pier, and there's this.
That's a kid park.
Yeah, but I played on it
I've
like
been
in
there.
the last few years.
You know what the thing is, though? So
Okay.
what's the intention of a park? A park is for kids to get exercise, right? That's
Yeah.
really the main idea. It's like parents want to.
I thought it's just a place for kids to have fun.
Well, it's a place for kids to have fun, engaging with physical activity, right?
Okay.
Adults in America could use a park. Like imagine climbing a ladder and doing monkey bars. That's a great workout.
Oh yeah.
Like that would that'd burn a lot of calories. What do you guys think?
Hear me out.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Remember when we were kids, guys, and there used to be those really massive like facilities you would go to with like it was like a playground, but like times 20, like huge slides. I go there for birthday parties all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like what are those spots called?
I've never been there.
You know what I mean?
It's like a
they're
ball pits and stuff.
massive ball
Yeah.
pits, towers, like towering of like tubes and stuff to climb around.
Yep.
There was one up
on.
Route 1.
You're saying it was like a place you'd go to for a birthday party.
Yeah.
With an indoor park that was like a mega park.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like a mega park.
Never heard of this.
You would go
amount.
on this slide. You'd go up like a million flights of stairs, and you finally get to the top of the
Josh,
building.
this was the highlight of my childhood. Route 1 mega. What do we even call that? It was like slides.
Indoor mega playground. I searched.
Kids Park, Route 1. No, what was it called back in the day? They all closed down. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's so sad right now. I'm trying to remember the name. I used to go for birthday parties all the time.
Did it look like this?
Yeah, but like bigger.
I've never heard of that, and I kind of wish I got to go as a kid.
And tonight when I'm laying in bed, it's gonna hit me.
It wasn't like Funplex or anything like that, right?
What's Funplex?
Do you ever heard of Rexplex?
Well, yeah, I used to go there to skateboard.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I definitely missed out on
Well,
this.
nonetheless, those were the coolest highlights of my childhood. You know what I'm talking about, Jimmy, right?
I know exactly what you're talking
Even
about.
for class trips, we used to go to, I think, the jungle. What was the jungle place? Remember?
Oh, I
We
don't
used
remember
to
that.
have birthday parties there too. But guys, there used to be so many more fun spots for kids, and I feel like playgrounds nowadays need to step it back up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, and we should bring back wood chips, the mulch, because you know what? This generation, I'm
soft.
gonna sound like a boomer. They're too soft. They need to get a splinter every now and again and realize the world ain't so friendly. So strange. Such a strange comment to make. But yeah, Josh is going to continue looking up Route 1 Mega Playground. If someone knows and they're listening, this is probably burning on their, like, heaping coals on their head, how frustrating it is to hear us agonize over the name. But yeah,
There was even the jungle place when I used to go to all the time for kids' birthday parties. It was like a jungle themed. There was like a dark tunnel. There was like a whole like roller rink area, massive, lots of tunnels. Guys, I'm getting so old. Like this is when I was in elementary school. It's like I can't even remember these places, but they were so cool as kids. And I'm sad that they all went out of business.
RIP in peace.
We made it to the end of the pod.
That was the last story I had.
Crazy.
Crazy time.
I love this. I think that was one of my favorite episodes. Like I feel like every story was so interesting this week.
Yeah, that was a really good episode, and I think
Very
it
diverse.
was an uplifting episode. There was no death. Well, until we find out what happened with the blood on the cars.
Yeah, unconfirmed.
And when we do find out, we will let you know. But otherwise, yeah, it was a good episode. And hey, guys, really quick, there's two things I want to say. One, I really want to do the mailbag segment. I really want people to either email us questions or send a voice memo asking a question to our email, contact.thegardenstate@gmail.com. Because I want to hear some questions. I want to hear from the listeners. We see numbers of how many people are listening, but we never get to hear their voices. And we want to hear from you guys. This is a community thing. We all live in the same state. And then the other thing is go follow us on Instagram, because I think most people find us through TikTok, but I think Instagram is really the better social network to keep up with what we're doing. We post lots of photos and interesting stuff on there, and that is The Garden State. That's all it is. I've had that username since 2010, I believe.
Maybe people just don't listen this far into the pod.
Maybe they don't, but here's the other thing. We should tell the story of how we came up with the Garden State idea.
Yeah, 100%.
One day we were really frustrated, and I said, Josh, I've had the username The Garden State for a decade. Let's do something with it.
What did it used to be? Tell the viewers.
So I tried to make an account. This is back. So when Instagram first started, I was on very, very early, and I just would get usernames that I thought were interesting because I saw it as like real estate on the internet. So I got the Garden State, and my vision, this is before states had official accounts, and like everybody has an Instagram now. At this point, there weren't official Instagram accounts. And so I created the Garden State, and I was going to be the official photography account for the state of New Jersey.
It was beautiful.
I got like 4 photos in, and I gave up. And my bio even said the official state of New Jersey. And like there were like
You had a lot of good followers.
state representatives followed it.
Yeah,
And
no
then-
way.
yeah, there were like very bigwig people following it. And then, yeah, so I said, what if we just reported on the news? And Chomik was like, I love that. And after he said, I love it, I was like, I don't even think that's actually a good idea. Like I wasn't even sold on it, but he was sold. And yeah, that's how this podcast became a thing.
It was, when Josh brought it up to me, I was like, you know what? Like, we've been talking about doing a podcast for so long, but we just could never put our finger on what we wanted to talk about.
That's exactly it.
And we were just like, wait, we always talk about Jersey. We looked up the news that day and we're like, wow, there's so many interesting stories. What if we just talked about them? And look at us. We're 16 episodes in right now, which is just nuts. I can't believe we made it this far.
Thank you to everybody that listens. If you would share the podcast with your friends, it helps us. And leave us a review if you listen on the Apple Podcast app. The more positive reviews we get actually helps us to expand our audience, believe it or not. I know that sounds weird, but that's just the way these podcasts work. Leave us a 5-star review and just say that we changed your life. We fixed your marriage. We did whatever the miraculous thing you want to put in there is. You could say we paid off your mortgage, and that's really
paid off your mortgage.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we let them go?
Jimmy, you have anything for us?
No, I'm just, Josh, I hope you have a nice trip.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for our next episode.
Yeah, definitely take a lot of pics, post them, so we could just be with you on that adventure.
Does this conclude season 1 of the podcast?
Yes, I think this does conclude season 1 of the podcast, which is crazy.
So we got to come back in 2 weeks with some fresh content, something a little different, huh?
Yeah, let's spice it up.
So we should tell viewers.
I wonder if Jimmy's going to make it back for season 2. Is he going to get? Are we going to redo him?
I don't want to renew his contract.
Wow.
I think we should get Danny Dimes back. But come back for season 2. Some things are going to be different. We have actually some really exciting stuff in the works that we can't talk about yet.
We're not giving up.
There's some stuff we're working on that's going to blow your socks off.
We're
if you're wearing
just
socks.
getting started.
So thank you for listening. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.
This episode comes out May 6th, which means next week we're off. So the next episode will be May 20th, if you're keeping track.
I am keeping track, and I'll be there.
I hope so. Just don't run into a grizzly. If you're hiking, remember, carry a little bell on you and also bear spray, because when me and you were out there, we ran into a bear. Remember how that went? Yeah. So have fun, Josh. Jimmy, have a great week. We love you.
Thanks. Love you too.
And
wow, that got a little weird. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm leaving.
Love you guys.
Bye.
See you later.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.